Teddy, you know a few things about champions, and we saw two impressive ones tonight. I want to ask you first about Rose. It's just so unique, you know, her walking out, you've seen the emotion on her face, and she's talking to herself in between rounds. What is it like for you, being around the fight game so long, to see somebody kind of doing that out in the open like that?
Honest, and just a reminder that 75% of this, whether it's in my sport or boxing or your sport in the cage, is mental. You know, so that's the talking. It's not for show, it's for her. Mm-hmm. It's private. Mm-hmm. You know, it's to remind her of what she needs to be and who she is and where she's going. You know, and if it gets too dark where I'm going, she's saying to herself, I know how to put the lights on. Mm-hmm. I know how to put the lights on. Not everybody does. I do. So to me, I tip my hat to her. You know, I do this.
Yeah.
Because she's behaving like a champion. Acting like a champion.
No, it seems like she's always had, the right people around her to help her with that, but now she's able to do it internally on her own, and you can see it. You can see her get through some of those challenges, those mental challenges. The other guy I want to talk about, of course, is Kamaru Usman. We're calling him the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world right now in mixed martial arts. When you see him as a champion, what are you seeing in Kamaru?
I see a guy who mixes great talent, great physical talent, great physical strength with great technique, great composure, great instincts. He very rarely does he put himself in an exposed area. That was probably the difference tonight. Great fight. And he probably exposed himself a little more than usual because, to the credit of Covington, he stopped coming forward. He started to lay back and make him come forward and caught him on a few counters, and then kind of went the way of the ocean. When he caught him on the counters, he said, I'll ride this wave out. And he caught him going out a little bit, where Covington or where Usman couldn't use his physical strength. But for the most part, Usman's a guy who's always balanced, always in position, balanced mentally and physically and technically, but always in good position. Very rarely do you get him out of position. And he showed that again. I always say with all the fighters, my business, your business, yeah, it's about physicality. Yeah, it's about toughness. But guess what? You're supposed to be tough. That's a prerequisite in the business. There's levels of it. I get it. But everyone's got to be tough. And everyone has to have talent. But then the cerebral part, the guys who are a little smarter. Mm-hmm. Usman's a little smarter usually. Yeah. And under pressure, because that's where you're doing it. Yep. You're not doing it in a library. You're not doing it at an opera. You're doing it in a freaking ring. Yeah. And to me, that is all part. And there's one other thing. I think he has an X factor. I really do. Where the region of the world that he comes from, that he connects the pride and the code of being a warrior. Like that he's almost baptized with it. It's almost a responsibility to behave that way. Yep. It's expected. Yep. From those three, Khabib, and you want to go into my business, Canelo. He attached himself to the Mexican tradition of being a warrior, to the Mexican people. Pacquiao connects himself to the connection of the Filipino people, to be a hero for them, to be hope for them. And guess what? That translates into strength. Yeah. It's an extra strength. So. Yep. Just a little intangible, that gives him even more of an edge.
And I agree with you. I think you can see that composure in him, even when he's getting hit, even when the fights get a little bit dirty, as they did, I think, in the 4th and 5th round. Colby was giving him a challenge. Kamaru's composure is something to watch.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.